Yassas tika ne te. Welcome to the vlog, everyone. Heavily requested vlog. I know a lot of my content on YouTube is trading related, of course it is. I want to help as many of you guys as possible, but a lot of you have kindly requested that you'd like to see more day-to-day life. And so a lot of you as traders who are watching this, I imagine it's most of you, on your come up as a trader, you will find that as you make more and more money, you want and you aim for a much more disciplined, organized, simple day-to-day life and routine. So a lot of my days are very much like that. But in the next week, I'm catching an early flight tomorrow, which I'm going to take you abroad with me with. And I thought it's a perfect opportunity because the next week is quite busy and there's lots of interesting things going on, very much trading related and other stuff as well, which will take you along for. So you catch me just having making a shake just before we've got a lovely mentorship call in about 15 minutes with one of my lovely mentees. So I've just finished a lovely call with one of my mentees, I was saying earlier, and ended up being about 90 minutes. So really good in-depth call, lots of stress testing done. I always like to get traders singing from the same hymn sheet as me for my strategy, but that includes everything. That includes risk parameters, risk management, that includes entries, exits, formulating areas of interest, establishing synchronicity before we even establish an area of interest, literally start to finish, every nook and cranny, every little detail. Because I say to people, once you nail the process, now this is whether you trade my sort of strategy, this is whether you trade a different strategy, it's the same in the sense of once you nail the process, the strategy, the step-by-step, the chronological order, the thing that gets you to that point of entry and those optimal setups, if you can nail that process and you're disciplined with executing it over and over and over again, that's the hardest bit done. People always think scaling capital is very difficult, and actually it's not. If you have the right system, it's the same process. We're just thinking in percentages, of course, the whole time. And we risk accordingly, we size up and accordingly depending on the capital, but we still deploy the same asymmetric risk to reward. We still deploy the same percentage amount fixed risk each trade. So it's about nailing that process with my mentee just there. He's on his second one-to-one call there now, and really good green flags are showing. And the journal that he sends me every week that I then loom back is really, really good because I'm not having to critique too much because he's doing very, very well. So I say to any trader, make sure you nail the process and the rest gets a lot easier. So today is also boxing session number 2. A lot of you that very kindly follow me on Instagram will know I've signed myself up to a charity boxing fight in just shy of 11 weeks now. Today I've hired myself a trainer before the official training starts at the start of February, just because I want to get ahead. I want to make sure fitness-wise I'm where I should be. I want to make sure I am as good as I possibly can be in the next 10 weeks. Just so I can do everyone proud and put in a good shift in the ring. And I knew this already, but boxing is one of those sports where I have such admiration. I think you have to be one of the fittest people to make it as a professional boxer. It's such a demanding, grueling sport for so many reasons. And so huge respect for boxers that do it for a living. The discipline required as well is amazing. So it goes hand in hand with trading. So that was another reason I wanted to take it up, a challenge this year, 2026, because obviously I get a lot of free time, which is a blessing. I'm incredibly grateful for that. But I want to put myself, to a challenge, to something to accomplish in this sort of first quarter of 2026. So I'll bring you along for that as well.
Just to watch me play, gave up who I am for who you wanted me to be. Don't know why I'm hoping, so fucking naive, falling for the promise of the emptiness machine, the emptiness machine.
Hola amigos. That wasn't very Greek, was it? I need to get in the swing of some Greek. Second boxing coaching session done, should I say. I've done a few more myself in between. sessions, but got absolute grilling, as we like. And I always say, when you think mentally or physically you're done, you're never done. You're never done. It just pushes me both physically and mentally, which is really, really good. And it has such a good positive spillover for trading in terms of pushing discipline and patience.
Good morning, everyone. I arrived yesterday, but day of traveling, and by the time I settled in and checked into my Airbnb, yeah, had a fairly quiet evening. Wow, Cyprus is lovely for sure. It'll be a lot of exploring today. Gonna go check out one of the highly recommended gyms, and it looks absolutely insane. Like, it looks really, really good. So I'm looking forward to take you along for that. But Cyprus, Paphos is amazing, really, really nice. I'm very, very pleasantly surprised. And I decided to come into an Airbnb because I didn't really tell you guys a lot at the start of this video today, but I'm potentially moving everything out to Cyprus, as I'm sure you've heard about other people as well. Obviously, a lot of people are moving to Dubai. For me personally, Dubai is not really my cup of tea. But Cyprus sort of ticks those boxes a lot more. It's only 4 hours. The flight, actually, I timed it yesterday. It was 4 hours on the dot. We made really good time. So 4 hours is nothing really. And I want to be back and forth to see family and friends. So I don't want to be too far away. And I know Dubai is only a 6-hour flight, so I know it's not the end of the world. But I decided to stay in an Airbnb in a proper flat whilst I'm here in Cyprus, just to really get a feel of what living's like. And like I said, but like yesterday, I went to the supermarket, got a load of toiletries, got some day-to-day things you would want, and just seeing what it's like, the day-to-day living, and obviously trading from here still, because I normally love my hotels. I'm very much a hotel person. I love that everything's there at your fingertips. I love that a brilliant breakfast is always put on. I'm quite specific though with hotels. I like somewhere nice, but I also only like it with breakfast. I never want, all-inclusive. I've actually never done all-inclusive, and there's a reason for that. It's because when I'm away, I like to go out and explore places for lunch and explore places for dinner and check out all the local hotspots, cuisines, that side of things. Now, don't get me wrong, I know all-inclusive can be the right option for a lot of people if they've got families, or it's sometimes way more convenient. But for me, that's how I've always done it. I just like going out. So without further ado, let's crack on with the day and take you on. Just finished up a push session at, I think, one of the most aesthetically pleasing and most well-equipped gyms I've ever been to. I'll put some photos on screen now as well that I took. That pops on my Instagram story, so if you don't follow the Instagram, go check it out. But it's insane. It's only a couple of months old, but the reviews are insane. I did my digging beforehand on Instagram, and it looks wicked. It is called Aesthetics Fitness Club Arc. It's wicked. I'll tag them here. Honestly, if you're in Cyprus, if you're in Paphos, go check it out. Insane gym, super friendly as well. Equipment wise, really, really wicked, really specialist. Loads of different options in terms of chest machines today as well. Go check it out.
Hello, you join me at the Adonis Baths, just outside Paphos. Managed to get a quad bike here, which was awesome. So a bit of a quad bike tour to then this lovely waterfall and lagoon. Been some people swimming just now, but it's a bit nippy. I didn't bring my swim trunks, but that's on me. But beautiful place, worth checking out if you're ever here. Oh. Gentlemen, I want to have a bit of a heart-to-heart with you because trading isn't easy. Come on, we all know this. We've all been there. Some of us obviously are early on in our journeys, like a lot of you watching this. I'm nearly 12 years in, and trust me, I haven't forgot how difficult it was back in the day, especially when you're finding and developing that edge. But I want to talk to you this evening about confidence because it can mean a lot in trading. Confidence presents in so many different metrics in trading. It presents in how we enter trades, how we manage trades, how we exit trades, how we formulate areas of interest in the first place, which ones do we trust, which ones do we not, that filtering in and out process. There's so much to it, and confidence comes in so many ways and intertwined. So I just want to talk to you really about some of the tangible metrics you can do today watching this that's objectively measured, that is an actual thing that you can do, that if you keep doing it consistently, your confidence will come as a byproduct, okay? And it will be natural confidence, it won't be forced confidence. Naturally keeping it straightforward in trading. Confidence comes from doing same thing in and out. But by doing it in and out, we have to measure it, we have to track it, okay? So we have tangible data and tangible evidence. So as we look back and reflect on that data, there's no good in just tracking it if we don't reflect. We have to reflect on that data. And by doing that, it then shows us, right, that works more than, say, that does. And if I do X, Y, Z collectively, or that's in sync with that, and I do that like that, you start, and it's only small details these presents, but it's all these little small details that add up and eventually build you this fantastic system that works, you know, mathematically in a statistical edge and data, but also you can manage it properly here. And that's where that confidence element comes in. And what is the easiest way that we can track this data? It is tracking every single trade we do for a journal. Okay, I've done a journal video in the past. I'll pop it up here if you want to go through it, where there's every single pillar that I use to this day on my journal. Because again, it's how we use it. It's not, we don't just want to know our win rate. We don't just want to know our average positive expectancy. Yes, positive expectancy is incredibly important because it tells us how profitable we're going to be over time, which is what matters. Okay, trading is not a quick wins business, as you know, but it tells us so much more in terms of how do we get an edge in the first place. Okay, it also tells you a lot about this psychology in terms of where you're self-sabotaging as well, because a lot of the time people's biggest barriers is this. It's not necessarily their strategy. So I say to people, please do the work, okay? Trading, as you know, has no ceiling to earning potential, but you have to do the work. People are led down this false sense of security that just because it's easy to get involved with means it's easy to make it work. It isn't. It's difficult to get an edge in the first place. It's difficult to then manage that edge long term as well, okay? And that's where, again, confidence plays a huge part, okay? Because even if you just get one pillar wrong of that confidence, so let's say you're good at entries and you're good at exiting trades, but you're not very good at managing at the time in terms of emotion, that can still screw you. Even though it's one of the smaller details, that will still massively screw you and mean you're not profitable over a period of months and quarters, okay? So please, really, really do the tangible things that you can. So I promise, as you review that data at the end of every week and you're tracking your trades meticulously, oh my God, is it a brilliant filtering process. And it filters out all the bad habits. It filters out any unnecessary parts of your strategy. And it also allows you to identify where it needs tweaking, working, refining, because it also then stops and prevents edge decay. Again, so you doing that every week gives you such bulletproof confidence month after month after month. And this is why with every single mentee that comes on board, every week at the end of each week after they've traded, I make them send me their journal and I then do a Loom video back to them breaking down their trades. And it's probably the most valuable part of the mentorship for the individual, because it just tells them, and someone else looking in it tells them, that just needs tweaking, or actually that was a great losing trade, or that was a great winning trade. And again, that external confidence from me positively reinforces the right behaviors. You've got to do these things.